The Ravens are entering a crucial stretch of the season, and fans everywhere are buzzing about the decisions John Harbaugh has been making, particularly after the Thanksgiving night matchup against the Bengals. That game left a lot of questions unanswered and some lingering frustrations, especially when it comes to the offensive line and running back rotations. Harbaugh addressed some of those points recently, offering insight into his thought process. And while not every answer satisfies the fan base, it's clear that he's trying to balance development, performance, and situational strategy all at once. The spotlight first falls on Emory Jones, who was rotated in at left guard during that Bengals game. Harbaugh highlighted that Jones played with energy and athleticism, but also emphasized that he is still very much a rookie, learning and adjusting as he gains in-game experience. The coaching staff believes that game reps are essential for a player like him to grow, and while some fans might wish for more immediate results, Harbaugh's approach seems to prioritize long-term development over quick fixes. It's a delicate balance because the offensive line has struggled at times this season, and the decisions about who starts or rotates aren't made lightly. Jones showed promise, but the question remains whether he will be used at multiple positions, particularly at right guard. Harbaugh addressed this as well, noting that while it's possible in theory, asking a rookie to master both guard spots could be overwhelming. The preference is to let a player focus on one position to gain consistency. Even if there are weaknesses elsewhere on the line, fans have debated whether someone like Daniel Fowl should see more snaps or be rotated differently, especially since the performance at both guard positions has been inconsistent. Harbaugh defended his approach, pointing out that the step from being a young player to an established starter is significant and that both Voorhees and Fowl have graded well in certain areas, even if they struggle in others. The reality of the Ravens' offensive line this season is that there is volatility, and while the coaches are making decisions based on what they see in practice and in games, it doesn't always align perfectly with fan expectations. Beyond the offensive line, running back usage has become a hot topic. The game against Cincinnati saw Rationale taking more snaps than Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell, and the distribution of carries raised eyebrows. Harbaugh explained that these numbers were not ideal and that the team's intention is to run the ball effectively while also managing game flow. Situational football, especially with 2-minute drills and shortened drives, plays a big role in who sees the field and when. Ollie filled in admirably for Justice Hill and performed well in pass protection, which is essential in those scenarios. While Henry's snaps were limited due to the timing and flow of the game, fans often want to see more carries for Henry, given his reputation as a dominant back. And there are moments when it feels like the team could establish the run earlier in a game, particularly in the first half before 2-minute situations dictate a more passing-heavy approach. Keaton Mitchell also has skills in pass protection and could potentially be utilized more, but game planning and personnel decisions often dictate who is on the field at each moment. The nuance here is that the Ravens are not necessarily trying to limit Henry or Mitchell unfairly. Rather, the coaching staff is making choices based on the mix of run, pass, and situational football. There were drives early in the Cincinnati game where the Ravens could have pushed the ball on the ground more, especially when they were leading, but 2-minute drills and other constraints affected the snap distribution. In the third quarter, for example, Henry's last carry came in a situation that might have otherwise allowed for more running plays, but penalties and timing pushed the offense toward more passing opportunities. Harbaugh emphasized that game flow, time of possession, and the need for certain players in pass protection all factor into these decisions. Fans are understandably frustrated when they see limited carries for a player of Henry's caliber, but the coaching staff's strategy accounts for a variety of factors that might not be immediately obvious to the casual observer. At the same time, the Ravens are looking at developing their younger players, and snaps for Ollie and Mitchell are opportunities for them to gain experience and contribute to the team. It's a balancing act between maximizing talent, protecting key players, and ensuring that rookies are given the right environment to grow without being overwhelmed. Harbaugh's comments also touched on the importance of consistency across the offensive line. Even when individual players grade well in pass protection, struggles in the run game can create pressure elsewhere, which is part of the ongoing discussion among fans and analysts. It's not just about one game or one player. It's about building a unit that can perform reliably across multiple matchups and situations. The takeaway is that while the Ravens are navigating challenges with line play and running back rotations, There is a clear method behind the decisions, even if it leads to some controversy. Fans can hope to see more touches for key backs like Henry as the season progresses, particularly as the team looks to find rhythm and stability in their offensive approach. Meanwhile, the rookies are gaining valuable experience, which could pay dividends down the line. Especially as injuries and game situations rise, the dynamic between veteran players, rookies, and situational roles is complex, and Harbaugh is tasked with managing all of it while keeping the team competitive. As the Ravens prepare for the upcoming matchups, including the critical clash with the Steelers, these decisions will continue to draw attention. The offensive line's performance, running back utilization, and game management all intersect to define the team's success. And every choice made by the coaching staff will be analyzed by fans and commentators alike. What Harbaugh has stressed is that the team is aware of the challenges and is actively working to balance development, performance, and situational needs, which gives fans a window into the strategic thinking behind the scenes. There's a recognition that mistakes and controversies are part of the game, but so is growth and learning, particularly for rookies like Emory Jones and for players stepping into expanded roles like Ali. The decisions made in recent games are not final judgments, but rather part of an ongoing process to optimize the team's performance while preparing for the long haul of the season. This approach may not satisfy everyone, but it reflects a broader understanding of how to manage a football team in real time, taking into account talent, readiness, and the unique demands of each game. As we continue to track the Ravens, it will be fascinating to see how these strategies play out, how the young players adapt, and how the veterans respond to shifts in snap counts and responsibilities. The dialogue between the coaching staff's intentions and fan expectations creates a rich narrative that keeps every game exciting and every decision under the microscope, making this stretch of the season particularly compelling for Ravens supporters as the Ravens move forward in the season. Another major point of discussion revolves around Lamar Jackson and his role in the offense. His presence on the field remains one of the most polarizing topics in the league, with fans and analysts constantly debating how best to utilize his unique skill set. Jackson's ability to extend plays, make throws on the run, and create opportunities with his legs is unmatched. Yet it also introduces questions about how the team balances his mobility with protecting him from injury and managing the game strategically. Harbaugh has consistently highlighted that Lamar's development as a quarterback goes hand in hand with the growth of the offensive line and the running backs. If the line can hold up under pressure and the backs can execute effectively, it creates space for Lamar to make plays without facing constant hits, and that in turn affects the play calling and overall tempo of the game. What becomes clear from the recent interviews and discussions is that the Ravens are trying to cultivate an offense that is versatile and adaptable. They are experimenting with rotations, formations, and player roles to find the right combination that maximizes both efficiency and player safety. It's a balancing act because the league is quick to expose any weaknesses, and opponents are constantly adjusting to what the Ravens show on film. Harbaugh's acknowledgement that rookies and young players need consistent snaps to improve highlights a commitment to long-term planning, but it also fuels debates when veteran players' contributions seem limited. For instance, the offensive line's performance against Cincinnati demonstrated flashes of excellence, but also moments of struggle. Some plays showed flawless execution, while others exposed gaps and missed assignments. This inconsistency is part of the challenge of managing a line with a mix of experience levels, and it directly impacts the running game and Jackson's decision-making. Derrick Henry's limited carries in certain scenarios sparked conversations about how the team chooses to deploy its talent. Game flow, penalties, and situational football all play a role. Yet fans naturally focus on the numbers and wonder why a player of Henry's caliber isn't getting more opportunities. Harbaugh has been transparent in explaining that the timing of drives, 2-minute situations, and the need for pass protection influence these decisions. Rationale has stepped up admirably in Hill's absence, showcasing his ability to protect the quarterback and contribute in passing situations, which is a crucial element in modern offensive schemes. Catton Mitchell's skill set also adds value, particularly in passing situations, and the coaching staff has to weigh how to distribute carries to maintain effectiveness while preparing for various game scenarios. The complexity of these decisions becomes even more apparent when looking at specific drives in recent games. In the second quarter against Cincinnati, the Ravens had opportunities to establish the run early, but the combination of passing attempts Incomplete throws and fumbled opportunities limited the number of carries for Henry. Harbaugh pointed out that to reach an ideal number of rushes, the team would essentially have to run on every first and second down, which is not practical in today's NFL. The reality is that the Ravens are managing a dynamic offense that relies on both ground and aerial attacks, while also dealing with injuries and game adjustments. And the need to develop younger talent, the offensive line plays a huge role in this balancing act. While players like Emory Jones are gaining valuable experience, the line's overall performance can fluctuate depending on matchups and game fatigue and situational adjustments. Harbaugh's comments underscore the importance of consistency, but achieving that consistency is complicated by injuries, rotations, and the integration of new players. For Jackson, the offensive line's stability directly affects his ability to execute plays, and for running backs like Henry, it determines how effective they can be on the ground. The interplay between these elements defines how the Ravens approach each game and why certain snap counts and rotations are necessary. Another layer to consider is the team's approach to situational football. 2-minute drills, red zone scenarios, and late game adjustments all influence who sees the field. While fans might see limited carries for certain players, these choices are often strategic, designed to optimize the team's chances in high-pressure moments. Harbaugh has emphasized that the coaching staff is always looking to create opportunities for players to make impactful plays, whether through traditional rushing, screen passes, or check-down options. Derrick Henry's talent allows him to excel in these scenarios, but the team's strategy requires balancing his carries with the need for effective pass protection and maintaining offensive unpredictability. The Ravens are also managing long-term health and workload for key players, which adds another level of complexity to game planning. Jackson's mobility, Henry's power, and the development of rookies like Jones and Ali all factor into how each snap is allocated. It's not a perfect system, but it's one that the coaching staff believes maximizes potential while minimizing risks. As the Ravens approach their matchup with the Steelers, these considerations become even more critical. The team is looking to solidify its standing in the AFC North, and the decisions made regarding the offensive line, running back rotations, and quarterback utilization could be the difference between winning and losing key games. Every choice, from snap distribution to position assignments, is scrutinized because the margins are so small in the NFL. Fans, naturally, will continue to debate the merits of each decision, particularly when it comes to high-profile players like Jackson and Henry. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are spreading through the NFL corridors, and all eyes are turning toward the Ravens after what some are calling a pivotal shift in the playoff landscape. The team, long seen as struggling to find consistency, suddenly finds itself riding a wave of renewed momentum. The latest buzz: the Ravens allegedly inherited a win that wasn't originally theirs, a scenario that has sparked debates across locker rooms and sports bars alike. Analysts suggest that this unexpected turn could reawaken the team's aspiration for a postseason push that many had quietly written off. Sources close to the organization hint that the mood in Baltimore has transformed overnight. Players, coaches, and even front office staff are reportedly feeling the pressure of opportunity and the thrill of it. Rumor has it that this newfound boost might be exactly what the Ravens needed to shake off the complacency that has dogged them in past seasons. The whispers grow louder when you consider the implications. A team that once seemed resigned to mid-tier standings now finds itself in the murky waters of playoff contention. And every game moving forward could be pivotal. Speculation is rife about internal dynamics as well. Some insiders suggest that the inherited victory has triggered subtle but noticeable shifts in strategy and lineup decisions. Sources claim that the coaching staff is experimenting with a few bold moves, trying to capitalize on the momentum while the league takes notice. Meanwhile, players are reportedly talking more openly about confidence, chemistry, and seizing the moment. Signs that a locker room can be buzzing in a way that signals something bigger than just a single win. Of course, the NFL rumor mill is never quiet. Observers point to the possibility that this sudden surge might be fleeting, a temporary blip before reality sets in. Yet, if the Ravens manage to ride this wave, they could turn what seemed like a minor fortune into a defining chapter of the season. Fans and critics alike are watching with bated breath, eager to see whether this inherited success will transform into genuine, sustained dominance or remain just another tantalizing what-if whispered across the league. For now, the Ravens story is one of intrigue, opportunity, and a playoff chase that has suddenly become far more exciting than anyone expected. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.